was our plan for walking today. We're going to be part of Edin's gallery.
Yes, and I know Kenyans have that disappointment. It's tough, but as we said, we're all here to look at what are the options. But just for the fans also, just remember even when you go to the Boston marathon, you know, it's not the US guys who always walk away with. But that's not an excuse. So I'm just trying to give them some leeway.
That's a very good excuse.
Yes, and it's just on a light note, just to make sure that we don't also beat them too hard. But also for me, from where I sit, and you know, they've also challenged us. They want us to get them sponsors. Obviously, we also want them to perform. It's something that now they also have to go back to the drawing board, see how do they make sure that they're getting their game at the top level. I'm going into a sponsors table and I'm telling them I want this pro sponsor. Yes, none of them made the cut. How do we handle this?
Right.
So see, we have to also throw it back and say, as players, let's think of how do we get our game up. Apart from the challenge of giving you.
And how do you do that? Is that Edwin by getting to play more international fixtures, or
I think it will be more of a sort of a master plan pathway whereby right now we have Shashwat Harish, who's a prime junior. We have Michael Karanga, who's the elite amateur in the country and being ranked in top 50 in the world, top 55 in the world. I mean, this is we need to create a pathway. Like you are relating it to the days where KQ was sponsoring the rugby sevens. I mean, we had the Collins Injeras, the Africa Youngest, but now there came a time when now Kenya was relegated. What had really happened during that time?
Right.
So there's a continuity path that needs to be. We need to have a path with that. This making sure that in the next 2 years, Shashwat is a new Indiza. In the next 3 years, Karanga is playing the Sunshine Tour. Karanga is playing.
I was going to say Karanga is the new Edwin because I was going to ask where would Edwin be.
No, I'm just saying. We have to come up with a master plan that really gives us this.
Do you feel we've done enough to grow the next crop of leaders? Because I go on a tee box on a 4-ball. Half the time I'm the youngest. And I'm not too young, but I'm the youngest in that 4-ball. And so, and then the juniors, yes, there's juniors who are coming through, but then there's a lot of support that has been needed to just get that small number of juniors coming through. So it feels like there's a big gap, and a lot of our natural talents are getting into the game a bit late.
I wouldn't say that because Junior Golf Foundation, Kenya Golf Union, they have really put up a very good show in terms of getting the tournament, the Kenya Amateur Golf Series. It's got a very good boost of sponsorships, getting the games going. Junior Golf Foundation as well, using the US Kids emblem. They are really pushing these juniors to play well. I think Shashwat is one of the players who's come through the US Kids pathway, and through the sponsorship that Kenya Golf Union is getting through their sponsors has really made them to see the kind of the Lejirma, the Del Balalas, and the Karanga that we have. So I think we've dealt with the two basic points of the junior golf and the amateur golf. Now in the professional golf, where now, as Ronald mentioned, it's all about the money, and that will make these professional golfer distinct themselves. It's either I'm teaching pro, leading Shashwat in this path to professional golf, or I'm playing golf to the level of getting to be one of the Kenya's best, and I will always have to be that athlete that he's talked about, Eliud Kipchoge. We know what Eliud Kipchoge did, and we know how he's inspired us in different sports. So that continuity path for me is one thing that I will want to say that when we talk about KQ as well, I benefit a lot when I'm going to West Africa through the buddy pass. Because I know this event is coming late in September. If I get my buddy pass early, I'll cut costs. When if I present my proposal to a sponsor and tell him I've already sorted out my flight, courtesy of KQ's buddy pass, he says, this guy is sharp. All right, I will fund the rest of what you have. So that continued plan of support and planning will make the difference.
Ronald, that pathway that Edwin is talking about, is it part of the cards in terms of your bigger scheme of things as regards to growing the sport in Kenya?
Yes, as you had first, junior golf is one of the areas that we're looking at big, but you've had one thing that I've also always said that the pros also have to look at is in terms of knowing your level of play at every one point. Like after the Kenya Open now, 2 months from today, if I ask you who's the top golfer in Kenya, it's a big challenge. And that's why I said I'll have the questions that we have to throw back also to the pros.
Right.
And this I'm going to paint a picture of, talk of Phil Nicholson. Even today, he still maintains a handicap.
Correct.
Phil Nicholson will be playing off maybe +6 or something. The other day they were compared with Tiger. Tiger maybe is at +7.1. You understand?
Yes,
7.1.
absolutely.
Before the guy tees off here, he has to play 7 birdies
Yes.
to start off.
To start off, yeah.
So this is something, as I said, we have to find a solution to this. Because even as much as you say the qualifiers have to happen, I am a strong believer that we need to have a system of knowing who is our top golfer at every one point of the year. I'm able to get a sponsor who's an international sponsor. I'm going to get the top 2 players. I don't have to do a qualifying round. There is AI, there is technology.
Yes.
They should keep a ranking and knowing that as of today, as an amateur golfer, you know right now, your handicap. Everybody has a handicap.
Yes.
That helps you know where you're playing.
Where you are, yes.
The pros we played with this weekend, I had to talk to them. They also maintain a handicap. They need to know what level they're playing at. And that's where with that's only we'll know who our playing pros are, who our teaching pros are. Absolutely. In terms of, you can be a golf player, but at the end of the day, you can be playing pro or you can be a teaching
Because
pro.
I mean, the counter argument has always been that the setup for being a pro golfer in Kenya is not profitable, right? And so a lot of golfers are like, it's great, I have good talent, I'd love to, but it's not rewarding. Edwin, what are your thoughts on that? Is that also holding back a lot of pros from working on themselves, like you're saying, and improving their game consistently?
Yeah, like I said, professional golf is more of an individual entity. And from where Ronald is coming from, I'm seeing it as the urgent push of making me look like a player who's a business in golf. Basically, we're talking about golf in business.
Right,
in the sense that if I've got to build my brand value, it shouldn't be hard to present or to pull a crowd to say, we're going to support Edwin because he's been playing out here and these are the things we've had. Over the years, if we talk about through the other Safari Tour that was there in 2023 and years back, we've had guys who have come here and played and gone out, and now they're making it big in Sunshine Tour. Talk of Robson Chinoi. Last year we had Ron Alugumayo of Uganda making the cut, and it basically gave him a platform that he needed the support from the background that he came from. So even in our midst, we have guys who are raw talents, we have guys who are hardworking, and guys who are hardworking are well known. These are the guys who, whenever we have any small tournament, you just know this is Edwin Mudanyi, this is Mazindia, this is Greg Snow, this is Duva, and those names keep recurring. Right. So my plea was also to say that we just need to have these guys playing, and playing, as Ronald said, we also need to turn ourselves into athletes. And athletes is now where I came back and said, for us to have a team in rugby, there's somebody behind it. We have a nutritional coach, we have a mental coach, we have a swing coach, and we have everyone who makes it a business of myself as a golf professional. So the challenge is on, and I think it's a good conversation that we're having, and I'm sure most guys are watching, even my fellow professional golfers, and I think they will take it up either through the association or take it upon as themselves through our different platforms that we have, and just continue nurturing this game.
Excellent. Excellent. Viewers, if you're joining us now, we're just about to bring this to a landing, but we'd like to hear from you as well. So feel free to write through our socials. We'll be happy to get those questions and bring them up here. And we've been trying to just figure out how do we grow this sport? What are the viable pathways to just really get to where we need to see it? We're all agreeing that there is an investment case for sports tourism in Kenya. So let's get to Clinton and perhaps just going forward. You've obviously shared the passion, the vision, and we've seen it practically by your involvement in the sport. If we could just now look at your crystal ball. Okay, it's a crystal water bottle. It's the closest it will come to. What are some of the trends that you're observing, having been part of MKO or just generally involved in sports in Kenya, that are either giving you a lot of encouragement in terms of the future, and what are some of the things that you feel we could incorporate for us to get to the next level?
Okay, thank you, Bob. Maybe just a highlight. I was going through the tourism report that was recently released by KTB.
Right.
And when it comes to sports, the people who are traveling into Kenya for sports, it accounts for only 0.3%. And if you are to compare this with the rest, those who come for leisure, education, health, it's quite insignificant.
Right.
And what that means is that there's a lot of room for growth. And as Kenya Airways, we are looking at how do we tap into this growth.
Right.
Using our greatest assets, which is access to destinations. We want to continue showcasing Kenya as a top golf destination, and also promoting golf as a sport at the same time. So while I go back to the numbers, I would also want to pose a question to Edwin in terms of when it comes to professional golfers coming in or you going out, what do you consider the best exposure for yourself?
I mean, it's availability of tournaments and the accessibility to those tournaments. Because, like I said, we have different types of pros, the teaching pros and the playing pros. And it's quite unfortunately currently in the country that the best of us who are playing professional, these are the ones that the parents are looking up to nurture their kids. They're not giving us that role of saying,
we're turning you into teaching pros.
So the parents are really looking up to, hey, Edwin, this kid really loves you. We have to hold his hand. When I'm thinking of, I need to be somewhere in South Africa playing the Big Easy Tour in Sunshine Tour. That idea of just saying, I need this kind of support to get to Big Easy Tour in South Africa. The parents say, you will make a lot of money around here just by supporting my children. But on a KQ point of view and the support that will come out of different investors, it's just the urge that we need to pinpoint, like I said, let's have that part of saying, Edwin, you've missed the cut this year. What is your next foot? Are you going back to make a living out of teaching, or you're going to push yourself to the next events? Of course, there are a couple of events coming up. Like I said, I've been playing more of national opens through invitations, and the accessibility to those destinations, it's always a weird thing. Even the guys who are asking me, where do you play? I tell them West Africa. They're like, what is in West Africa? I'm like, gas and oil money is there. So they're like, is it really a tour? I say, no, not just national opens. Is it like Kenya Open? They say, no, if it was like Kenya Open, you guys would have been there as well.
Right.
So the support has to be immense, and we feel it, and the pressure is on. This is a conversation that we've had year in, year out. Apart from the last 3 years when we had a few East African making the cut, because even in 2023 I was in Mutai Kibugu's bag carrying for him, and we made it to the limelight. And it's been great. I think that support and push is what needs to be on a continuity level.
And I'll come back to Clinton, but Clinton, there's a question for you. There's Peter who's writing in saying, as KQ's representative, how does this partnership position Kenya as a top sports destination?
Okay. This partnership positions Kenya as a top destination because, number one, we are bringing the who is who in golf to this tournament. We are bringing in tourists. We are bringing in the golf enthusiasts. So what this does, it creates a lot of publicity around making Kenya the preferred destination for golf. And maybe in terms of even future outlook, from a KQ perspective, we are looking, or rather we are in talks with different golf groups, key players in the UK and US, to be able to see how can we be able to bring these professionals into Kenya to come and actually compete locally. And what this does, it has a ripple effect in terms of how the world views Kenya. Because gone are the days that we used to just talk about tourism as just the beaches and maybe the Masai Mara, the safaris and whatnot. That has changed, and sports tourism is actually something to watch out. So what we're saying is, as we bring in these people, as we increase these destinations, and actually as I speak of destinations, we are also going to expand that scope to include Gatwick. Coming 2nd of July, we'll be also flying to Gatwick 3 times, complementing the Heathrow slot. So what this does, as a whole, it makes the world notice.
Right.
Yeah, because we are enabling this travel and also giving these people a good experience in terms of the flying, the service and whatnot. And we are able to bring them and take them back and have them give a good story about the experience from attending this tournament,
Right.
from experiencing Kenya's rich cultural heritage and also its natural beauty.
All right. Yeah. Clinton, seems like there's lots of questions for you. There's Mary who says, to Clinton, do players leverage buddy passes for travel? I think Edwin had talked about it, but Clinton is here. He'll respond to that. How accessible are they for sports professionals looking to explore competitive events globally? Maybe you could respond to that, and then Edwin, you could tell us how yours works. Okay.
Okay. Without delving into so much in terms of our agreement with the Magical Kenya Open, I will be very keen to understand how he has a buddy pass.
Right.
Because
if it's illegal, don't say it. You're live.
Because in terms of the engagement terms, we are currently engaged directly with the Magical Kenya Open, but of course it's at their discretion to see how they're able to utilize the in-kind sponsorship that they get from Kenya Airways. So I'm very curious in terms of buddy pass, how he's able to get it, but I'm not saying it's illegal. What I'm saying is chances are he has, or rather knows somebody who works for Kenya Airways, and by extension he's able to get a buddy pass, which makes his travel easier.
Basically, that's important because a lot of people think sponsorship is just hard cash, but there's a lot of what we call trade exchanges. So I mean, even that buddy pass you're giving, there's a value to it, right? The tickets that you're getting, Edwin, there's a value to it. So people need to stop looking at it as money in my account. Should be they enable you to do something that you'd not have done, and perhaps that will be the open-mindedness that is required in approaching some of these things. Organizations out there and a lot of the sponsors out in the village, they will not necessarily give you hard cash, but they will facilitate you being able to participate.
Absolutely.
Right. Are you happy to tell us about how yours works?
Basically, it's just a facilitation, as Clinton was saying.
Right.
Knowing somebody at KQ, it's always a blessing in disguise as well. Because, like say, for me to approach Clinton and tell Clinton I'm going to play, I have to have reasons why I'm going and for how long am I going there. So sometimes it's a 3 weeks travel. I'm gonna play Ghana, play Cote d'Ivoire, then maybe go to Nigeria.
Right.
They fall between September and November. So if I get my tickets early enough and I send it as a proposal to person who is working at KQ, and I tell him this is basically the basic support I would want from you, they tell me yes, I'll make a plan. And I mean, I still have to do with some cash, but it's worthwhile. It saves a bit of my tournament expenses, and I take it.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is what you're saying. Representation would have helped that a lot.
I mean,
so I
wouldn't be thinking of that.
And they focus on getting you there.
Yeah. If you walk to that range up there where these players are playing, you'll see them with the high performance aids that they're using, the Trackmans, the GC quad. I mean, that's the only thing this guy knows how to do. He needs to know how his numbers. How it got to him, it's not something he thought about.
Are you guys intimidated when you step on the tee box and somebody has all these gizmos?
I mean, it's a blessing. Like, so many other guys have made that investment in the country right now, right? We have got data-driven golf at Karen that has brought it to light and has basically shown us what this thing is all about. And the difference and the confidence that it builds, knowing that my 6-iron will fly at this average distance on different factors. It's just
it also helps if you're Edwin Budanya, because
Yes,
I know how my 6-iron fly. I will fly that much. Gentlemen, there's a question from Naomi Karani who says, great conversation, guys. Thank you, Naomi. What other opportunities is KQ exploring beyond MKO? Any golf tournaments and grassroots support?
What I would look at from top of mind is, first of all, I talked about KQ holidays being something that we are also like giving beyond the travel aspect. So I'll come to the question. So what we are doing is we are offering you more than travel. We are giving you accommodation, we are giving you transfers, we are giving you activities to do when you go out there. So basically what you're saying is we are bundling up our offering in terms of if we are to come on board and we say we want to do something with you, we can be able to extend to you such kind of.
So you're curating a bigger experience. It's not just getting Mudani to Lagos.
Yes.
Yeah.
So given that it's a product that we introduce, so we are looking at what do we have that we can also be able to showcase to these people who would want to partner with us, and can we tap in? So it's always on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
When it comes to the conversation and in terms of beyond MKO, as I earlier alluded to, we have been in talks with different golf resorts in Kenya. Just to name a few, we have Pingo, we have different golf resorts that we are in talks
Right.
with, and of course the goal is to actually see how we can be able to promote golf tourism in Kenya. But when it comes to the grassroots, I will definitely encourage individual golf players to be aligned to maybe a certain body, to be able to
It's easy to work
exactly B2B
with an organized setup.
exactly,
Yeah.
because then again there comes the contractual agreements,
Correct.
there comes all those things. So like I would encourage the golf players, especially those who are not aligned or rather allied to a specific group, to be able to just align themselves that way. Then you can approach corporates with a solid proposal that this is what we have, this is what we are looking for, and this is a benefit that KQ will get.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you find that sometimes there is nothing in on it for KQ, but as I earlier alluded to, we are going beyond
Right.
what's in it for us.
And
but
at times
also
just being the
community.
conveners of these things.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There's more questions coming in, and we'll try to squeeze in as many as possible. Ronald, there's a question for you from Eric Mugo, and Eric Mugo is asking, how do you see the partnerships with airlines like Kenya Airways enhancing the growth of golf tourism in Kenya and attracting more international players to the tournament?
Yeah, for sure. Kenya Airways, Pride of Africa, they have always been our partner. When you look at golf tourism, we're looking at it in different ways. Like the other day, we had about 30 pros going to the national park here. These are opportunities that would not have happened if
Correct.
KQ didn't fly these guys here.
Correct.
And you see, with the exposure of having them coming for this tournament, we have nearly over 144 international players, over 50 countries represented from different parts of the world. Once they come here, one thing you know about golf, people want to play golf at every one point of time.
Absolutely.
But one thing we have in Kenya is good weather. So with this tournament, as much as it's happening once a year, but it gives exposure to the country. And that's what even the stakeholders, even that's why we have also Kenya Tourism Board on this as one of the stakeholders. We need to get the hoteliers to come on the table and see that this opportunity of Magical Kenya Open is not just for this day-to-day, for the AMSAs, for the EABLs, for Kenya Airways. We need other stakeholders to come and see that this is going to promote tourism.
Right.
It's going to take us to another level. You saw when you had the MKLO in Vipingo, you have the giraffes walking on the greens
Excellent,
together with
yes.
the players. That clip is played every time you've seen a highlight of
Yep.
the ladies tour. It's there. So these are things that we want to thank KQ for bringing these players there. And as I said earlier, we need to take this to the next level.
Right. Great. And by what Eric also mentioned is that the whole idea, and I think Ronald, you put it very nicely, is it's more than just golf. It's a whole
Yes.
experience that you're giving people. And so if we're able to sell that more, like you're talking about the good weather, I had a lot of pros saying, I mean, this is fantastic weather.
Yeah.
There's a pro who says, I don't use my driver, but I had to use it in Kenya. So it opens up my game to a different kind of experience.
Sure.
And I think we need to channel a lot more on that. But Ronald, you spoke about growing the game in Kenya. Let's just talk a little bit about that, because our pros are coming through from communities, from clubs, and some of them showcase their talent more than others, and that's how they get here. Just give us a sense of, are you happy with the kind of golf development in the country? Whether, because there was the criticism, obviously, that it's very exclusive, it's very, the cost is exclusive to a lot more people who'd want to join. I know there's different efforts that have been done by different people, but just looking at the Kenyan landscape, are you happy with how the sport is developing, and what are some of the low-hanging fruits that, in your mind, could be used to ensure that it's more accessible to a lot more people who might not afford to join a membership club, for example?
No, I must say that we've tried to really demystify the game of golf. It was originally said it was a game for the rich and all, but you can see even through the government. First, I'd like to talk about that. There's a development of the Kasarani Golf Course. That is a place of development. There's a center that they've been trying to build there. They've also tried to do, there's one at Lenana, at the Lenana Golf Course.
Right.
We've also like to thank golf clubs like Golf Park. Golf Park has also opened their doors to a lot of people who have come into the game of golf. I can tell you, it's just that we don't have the exact numbers now, but I can tell you for the last 5, 10
and the
years.
range operates till 10 p.m. in the night.
10 p.m.
Yeah, excellent.
And also, sometimes we say COVID was a bad thing, but I can tell you, COVID also helped to get
Okay.
a lot of
There's a lot of
playing
people
golf.
started playing
Doing golf,
Right.
playing golf at that time. But I would say a lot has already been done. The government is also trying to get golf to be part of the curriculum. So these are initiatives through the Junior Golf Foundation and KGU. We have to get this being taught in the school level so that more players come on board on this exact game. But back to what I was saying, we need to just identify talent from the grassroots. And that guy might not be able to buy golf clubs, might not be able to do, but once you give him that exposure and to be able to hold his hand all the way to get him to be a pro. Because as I was saying, even the players I was playing with, he tells you he gets a new golf set every year. You know, these opportunities that they don't
Equipment
have.
changes, not a problem.
Changes.
Yep.
They get, as you said, the trackmans. Let's get somebody who just says as a sponsor, I'm going to give all
Some
the
of
top
us are
pros
still playing
trackman.
clubs from early 2000.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and at the end of the day, the guy could be talented, but we need to hold his hand, come on board and build it. But I think we're on the right trajectory.
Right.
It's just for us to come on the table.
Right.
Maybe Bonnie,
Yes,
maybe just to add on what Ronald has said in terms of stakeholders, the in-kind sponsorship does go a long way because, as he has specified, the golf clubs and whatnot, they usually change every year. So if you can also look at it from a point of, I don't want the money to buy it, can you come on board as a sponsor who usually produces this and actually be able to support me? Maybe annually. So yeah, that really pushes the narrative to go beyond the cash and look at in kind as well.
Right. Mujani, I wanted to ask you about the development of the sport. You obviously interact with a lot of young guys coming through who are just struggling to get a membership, secure a handicap, get regular time for playing. Just give us a sense of what are some of the challenges that you see at that level. Before they get to pros, but at that level in terms of inclusivity of the sport?
Dora has mentioned about demystifying the game of golf and taking it from grassroots, let's say schools nearby. We have clubs like Karen Country Club, for instance. It has a very vibrant Karen Junior Development Program, which is exclusive basically for the members at the moment and the neighboring schools that are nearby Karen. We also have Golf Park, which is, you guys say it's like by virtue, it's a public golf course. So it's a pay and play kind of a golf course, whereby we can start anyone off at Golf Park, can start anyone off at any golf club. The juniors, for them, it's an easier fix. A parent just has to show interest and talk to Junior Golf Foundation, and the junior is given a junior golf card, which he only pays, let's say, 100 shillings to be playing at the same time in a different golf club in this country. So it's also the effort and the need that if there's anyone who wants to join golf has been demystified over the years.
So for a lot of parents watching now who obviously have seen this, they feel like they want to try the children, but they don't want to start. Those are very viable.
All member clubs are always welcoming. If you're coming in as a guest and you have an objective that you want to give it a try as a golfer, or you want to give your junior an opportunity to go, they will always guide you in their different strategic plan in terms of how best each and every club is trying to bring the game to growth.
Right.
So I think it's just a large initiative that each parent takes it up and say, I didn't get to play, but I feel this is a game that is life-changing.
Correct.
We've seen the likes of Tiger Woods, we've seen the likes of Rory McIlroy, how they've really grown in the game after the Tiger Mania wave, and how much money has come into golf through that. And such of in-kind sponsorship from Kenya Airways, this is how to grow this game of golf. It doesn't have to be a proposal every time that I have to go and face this investment company and tell them, put money in this game, this is your ROI. I don't have to explain that. Sometimes it should be like a community social responsibility, saying that, Edwin, do you have a junior program that you're running at your home club? What sort of support would you need? And then that's when I will be able to highlight how best we can, investor work well with a club that is in mention.
Right. Yeah. And gentlemen, I know we want to bring this to a landing. We're trying to squeeze as many questions as possible. But our last bit of conversations will be two things. First, I'll want you to give me a sense of where do we go from here. But also, I'm very interested in your predictions. Round 3 started today. Who you're putting your money on and why, and sort of what are some of the predictions you want to make. So let's start. I think we'll start from Ronald. Lots of work already has been put in place. Fantastic show. Everybody who's been here, everybody who's been interviewed has talked of how excellent this exhibition has been. Where do we go from here? And we're answering this in the context of how do we grow the sport, how do we grow sports tourism in Kenya, and how do we get to see more of our own competing at those levels?
Thank you. As we've said, first things first, sponsorship. For me, where I sit, getting all stakeholders on the table, let them come. Let's look at this from a bigger picture, not just a February discussion where we have got 4 days. Let's look at it over the full 12 months. How do we get this going? If you want to come and sponsor the clubs, we'll see how we get your brand on this, and so that it's a journey. So even there's value for the sponsor, because at the end of the day, it has to be a win-win for both parts. Then, as I said earlier, also is on the players, as I've given them the challenge. Please see how to stay top of your game, not only in March, even off-season. Right. Call up and we say, this is the ranking. So that even when we come to the Kenya Open, as much as we have the qualifier round, I want us to have a scenario where we keep 3 slots for the top ranked golfers. Those guys don't even have to play the qualifier, because we know they've been working hard. This is what they're using. Their systems there. They don't have to be the world handicapping system. They can have their own handicapping system. There's AI now. Let us know this is the guy who's playing best at this one point, and when we have a tournament tomorrow, who wants to fly out, we can know who it is. Let's support them in terms of, as I said, all the different variables, nutrition, mental health, fitness, gyms. Come on board, take these pros, give them a golf curriculum, give them how they can get their training done, and they have to be fully disciplined to make sure that they do this on a daily basis. Right. Because this is a job. For the pros, these guys should not do anything else.
That's what you wake up to do.
That's also discussion we need to have.
Correct.
I know somebody was joking, saying, this guy is on the golf course, he's Uber, he's trying to wonder if his taxi is doing. There are so many things going on in his mind.
He should not be worried
about anything else.
Golf is the main thing.
Golf is the only thing he's thinking about. Right. Yeah. It's just, what time does he get to the tee box? What time does he play? He should not worry about anything. Once we get these guys to that level, we're going to get the next winners of the Magical Kenya Open.
Excellent. Edwin, where do we go from here? How do you ensure we get more people like yourselves performing at this level?
I mean, we are not doing badly so far. The kind of golf that these youngsters are playing, the kind of golf these elite amateurs are playing in the country, we are not far off. We just need to keep on pushing and give them that platform. Let's take them out playing these Africa Amateur Championship, take them to British Amateur Open, World Junior Championship. This is something that I feel that during my days I missed, but it's proven to be worthwhile now. Getting the right exposure for these elite juniors and elite amateurs. And as well, for us professional golfer, we have affiliate memberships with Sunshine Tour in South Africa. I mean, it's a big push to be there out for 6 months, yet we know we're young boys, we're young families. That thought that we're saying I shouldn't be thinking about. Of course, at one point in life, it comes out. Right. All right. I've gone there, but mentally, I'm back at home. Yeah. Something has to be done. Yes, so, well, as soon as we get to that level at professional golf, whereby I'm acting like a robot, I'm just being told, Edwin, there's a tournament in Cape Town, Edwin's a tournament in Cairo. For me, it's just to go out there and perform. And that will be what these juniors want to look up to. Because we are the immediate people we rub shoulders with at our home clubs. So everybody will know Edwin Mudanyi of Karen, Edwin Mudanyi of MetLife, this Masindiza of Kakamega. Everybody will be fascinated. Why is this guy from all the way to Kakamega and not Nairobi, and he's coming here and thrashing the likes of Edwin
without gloves?
Now that's the raw talent that you mentioned. Yeah. So we are not doing badly off, and I just say all those stakeholders who are on board, keep pushing, keep doing that, and we will see a winner in the next 5 years of this magical Kenya Open.
Excellent. Clinton, where do we go from here?
I think this is more of a future outlook. As a sponsor and also as Kenya Airways, we are looking at, we'll be receptive to making sure that we review proposals that come to us in terms of sponsorship and continue supporting what we currently have pledged support for. But of course in kind, and maybe as things get better we might at some point do cash, but in terms of going forward, our goal is to make sure that we connect Africa to the world,
right,
and the world to Africa, because now when you look at exposure, I think we play a very key enabling role in terms of facilitating that. Yeah, so that's our commitment in terms
connecting
of
the
going
world
forward.
to Africa and Africa. I really like that.
Yeah.
Before we close, gentlemen, there's this question that we must sneak in. Sandra has a question to you, Edwin, and she says, competing at the Magical Kenya Open must be an incredible experience. What's the one thing you look forward to the most besides winning? Of course, you know, winning is the main goal, but what's the other one thing that you look forward to competing at the MKU?
It's a magical event, right?
As the name
The
suggests.
magic.
Yeah, as the name suggests. I
Right.
mean, the people who came behind the name know what it brings to us. It's a window of opportunity for us to really showcase our talents in this top-profile event, and the excitement around it. You've seen the village, the preparation, and everything that is all to do with the Magical Kenya Open. It's always an excitement. We know, during our club night event, Saturday mark, we don't not get crowds.
Yeah.
So when you say this is
It's
a
good to have the
national
home
open,
crowd
it's
following
always
and
good
cheering
to
you.
see you're making a bar. Nobody claps at you on a club night. A part of this event is something
big.
that is for the nation, right?
Yeah.
That excitement that is buzzing around here, the vibe that we have around this village, is just, it stands out. It's the best thing that we all enjoy, and that's the fun of it. That makes us look forward to always playing Kenya Open, and always ready to use it as
Right.
a bridge to the next part of my career.
Excellent, excellent, and that's all to live for. I mean, as a golfer.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, let's get to our prediction. I know we're almost bringing this to a landing. I don't know how many minutes we have, but just before we close this, last time I checked, I think John Perry was still the individual leader. I need to confirm that still. But where do we start? Let's start with Ronald. What are your predictions? How does it look tomorrow evening? What will be the situation like?
There's a player to watch out for.
Right.
Is Hontom Lee. He's playing quite well.
Yes.
For me, that's what I put my
And
money.
he's been entertaining us, really.
Yes.
You know? Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I put my money.
Okay.
Based on what we've seen. Yeah.
And he's coming off winning ways from
Yes,
Dubai, so
from Dubai,
okay.
yeah.
Excellent. Edwin,
Me in the top
before
five.
you even said that, who did you want to beat?
The field, of course. So,
Yeah.
be the best player in the week. Unfortunately, came short.
Yeah.
But looking at the top five and knowing golf is a game of numbers, and in real life, numbers do change. So I think of Jaden Shaper. He's been coming to Kenya quite a number of
Absolutely.
times.
He's very familiar
He's
with that.
currently 5 shots back. I think he's got a chance this week. He's got a chance. Like I say, golf is a game of numbers, and he's right at it.
Also,
So
let's
I'd
cheer
give it-
our African.
Absolutely, South Africans. Yeah,
Still up there.
Yeah, we've got about 7-8 South Africans who made the cut. So
Okay.
they are good. They are very experienced,
Right.
and this is the caliber of events they play. So
Right.
I'd vouch for one of them to take it through.
Yeah. Clinton, I know as sponsors, you don't want to
Yeah.
say who is your favorite judge, but just give us a sense of who is exciting you right now.
I will definitely concur with Ronald. Lee is somebody to watch out. Yeah, because when you look at, in as much as we are looking at leaning towards our people, there's that which you're looking and saying,
There's the excitement.
Right.
you just need to tread carefully around
Right.
this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. My man is with John Perry. I think he's been solid, but let's see how this goes. We still have many holes to go. Gentlemen, before we close, there's a final question. I think that's to Edwin. They wrote Eric. And Edwin, this question is, as someone at the heart of MKU, what's the one thing you tell a first-timer visitor about the tournament? So somebody has just landed in Muthaiga today.
Yeah.
There could be a golfer. What's the first thing you tell them?
I mean, come and kill your curiosity. The assumptions that you have about golf. You'll see the life outside the game of golf and the discipline inside the ropes. So it is a two different thing. The Edwin you see inside the rope and the Edwin you see
It's
at the
different,
village,
yeah.
they're different things. So
Right.
that curiosity of saying this guy is a professional, he shouldn't be here at the village.
Yeah.
It's life that is happening. So
Absolutely.
just being out here and getting to experience this firsthand it's the most magical thing that anyone would want to enjoy.
Fantastic. Magical is a good word to leave it, and thank you, gentlemen, for making time. We've been speaking to Clinton Mwema, who is the marketing manager, rest of the world and West Africa at Kenya Airways. We've also been talking to man in the arena, Edwin Mudanyi, professional golfer. Thank you for representing this country, and obviously Ronald Ameru is a commercial director for the Kenya Open Golf Limited. My name is Bonnie Tunya. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. We spent about an hour just trying to figure our minds around how to move the game of sports further. We're here at the Kenya Airways Arena. Please remember, you can follow us in terms of where you in terms of the information that you want to give us, talk to us, go to official social media handles at Kenya Airways. You should be able to get a response to your questions. It is round 3, like I said. There's still lots of holes to go, so please go out there, enjoy the game, and cheer for whoever your favorite winner is. And hope to see and compare notes at the end of the tournament. Thank you so much for this afternoon. And this is Kenya Airways, the pride of Africa. Good afternoon.